Welcome to Diva's Two Cents, the place you come to hear complicated matters get broken down for you in everyday English language. So today we have a very special guest, a friend, a colleague, just a special person that I want to introduce to you today. His name is Don Pikula, and I'm going to let him introduce himself because I would do him no justice. Hello.
Hey, Diva, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah, I think you would do plenty of justice. I have no issue. Anytime you want to introduce me is perfectly fine.
Great, great. Well, I've got an audience that's very interested in what you do and why you do it. So, first of all, just tell me a little bit about yourself so that we can start on. And I've got a
Yeah.
couple of questions that I've got written down for you.
Well, you talked about already in the intro about complicated things broken down simply. And up until this point, broadcasting your message out online has been kind of complicated. So most people take the easy route and they share their screen, they narrate their PowerPoint, or they're just one of the wall of Brady Bunch as they present. Which, if you got a really good market to message match, you're really good at delivering it to the right audience, it'll work. But when you see the top 1%, top half percent of any industry present online, they're doing with the help of a professional production crew. They're doing it in a live studio soundstage. They're doing it in a newsroom. I mean, they're doing it at a professional level. And let's be real, they're spending tens of thousands of dollars a day to pull that off. Now, if you would have told me 5 years ago that I would be putting virtual studios into people's homes or offices, utilizing a laptop computer, a webcam, and a microphone and a piece of green material, I would have said you were crazy. I would have said it couldn't be done. I would have said, Diva, you got to go spend the $20, $30, $50,000 and build your own. But Diva, you right now are using free software, a computer, Zoom, and you got a green piece of material behind you, and I wouldn't know that you weren't down at the local news station. I wouldn't know that you weren't renting out the entire studio. And yet, this is just in your home and office, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So that's all it needs to be. It doesn't need to be complicated. So when you talk about breaking complicated things down simply, I think this is exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. With so much out there, everything is on Zoom, everything is, you go into Facebook, all the social media. What makes you unique, especially in your industry?
Yeah, well, that's a phenomenal question, and I'll tell you, it's crowded. Online video marketing, online presentations is crowded. If you go on LinkedIn and you look, everybody's doing multiple per week. Learn this, learn that. I'll show you how to avoid this. I'll show you how to gain that. I'll show you how to win at life. Whatever they're out there doing, there's all kinds of webinars and seminars and workshops in person, out person, or virtual. So if you want to stand out in that environment, we have to do a couple things to really engage the audience. So the very first thing that you're doing right here is, most people, if they were having to present, they would share their screen. And now I disappear and I go through my PowerPoint, go through all the moves, awesome, cool, great. But what you're doing is actually you're outside the box, right? I mean, you have an audience that you're presenting to, and you're engaging that audience on a high level and making sure, look, you're seeing their faces, they're smiling, but it's also about delivering your message. And so now if you wanted to use PowerPoint, Canva, Keynote, whatever environment you're in, PC or Mac, doesn't matter. Now the audience is present with you while you present, even up to and including driving them to a call to action where you want them to go to either learn more, to download your book, your lead magnet, or book an appointment, take action. Now you have an opportunity to take them actually through those steps. And Diva, I'm just in my home right now.
Okay.
I'm in a home office. I'm using a computer that's, I don't know, $500-600. I mean, nothing crazy, right?
Yep.
I got a couple of screens, a decent webcam. And by the way, this webcam, I'll share this link with your audience because they may want to look at this. You're using this camera.
Sure.
I'm using this camera. I mean, we massively upgraded over, and there's a lot of great cameras out there for, 50, 70, $80. But I was on a $900 camera setup. It cost me $900 to run a professional camera on this setup, and I replaced it because I think what I'm on right now is better. So that's the Insta360 link. I'll give that link to you to share with them if they want to take a look at it.
Okay.
You'll find it anywhere from $250 up to 300. 250 when it's on sale, 300 the rest of the time. But again, we're talking about something that outperformed two, three, four times the cost. So if you're willing to make just a little investment, I mean, for some people, 250 is a lot of money. I want to keep that in mind. This is not just go crazy, but you go buy a professional camera, you're starting at 1,000, you're probably going to spend 2,500, and I'm saying for 10% of that, for a fraction of that, you can look like a pro, and it's a great place to get started. You'll get noticed. You'll stand out in the crowd.
Wow. Well, this industry has evolved, hasn't it? I mean, to think that
Well,
from a studio,
yeah.
you can actually do what we're doing here, and you being the master of this. I mean, where do you see it going in another 3 years or so?
Oh, Diva, we're probably going to be virtual reality,
Mm.
and we won't even be studios anymore. We'll literally feel like we're in the same room. Now, maybe, maybe not. I guess what I'm saying is, especially in the corporate world, especially where people now have gone from totally remote to hybrid. I don't know that you'll see a day, at least not in the foreseeable future, where we're back to an office like we used to be. I think
Mhm.
there'll be some resemblance of 4 days a week, 3 days a week, 2 days a week, 1 day a week, whatever it happens to be. And I think that's okay. I think we need to embrace that. But if you're doing presentations or you're meeting with people, you're trying to show, coach, articulate, present, and close, you need to be functional from anywhere. So, I'm not locked down to this house. If I lost internet or power right now, Diva, I would just take my little backpack that has a laptop computer in it, piece of
Mhm.
green material, a second camera. I'd go to a hotel, and Diva, we'd pick this up in 10 minutes, right? Or maybe 15. Okay, maybe a little to
Mhm.
get checked into the room. But Diva, I'm no longer locked into just one mode of transportation, one
Mhm.
mode of having to be at a certain spot at a certain time. I can
Mhm.
be anywhere in the world and connect to my audience,
Yep.
and connect to my clients, connect to my prospects, convert with those.
Well, well, Don, there's a lot of, I've got quite a few Main Street tax advisors out there that really want to be out into the public, and they really want social media. They want to be out there doing something similar to this. Not only the Main Street tax advisors, but there's a lot of coaches out there, a lot of people that follow me that want to do this. As you can
Yeah.
see, it's just me. It's just Diva's 2 cents, just giving you my little tidbits now and then. But this is huge. This is something that anyone, if I can do this, you can do it. All you need is someone like Don. And Don, how do they get a hold of you? How can they get this technology or this help from you? I know you're a great
Yeah.
coach. You've got a huge following yourself. So how do my folks get a hold of you?
Yeah, they just go to donpikula.com, and I'll give them the link. We'll put it in the comments here, and
Okay.
they can click on that. I do once a month. I do a 3-day workshop.
Okay.
They can come and look at that. I do charge for that.
Hmm.
It's very low investment, or there's a VIP if they really want to dig in and take this seriously. But listen, if they show up to one of my events and they don't think it was worth it, I give them their money back. It's not about the money for me, and this is something I
Yes.
want your people to know too. Those people who are doing physically doing the accounting, doing the taxes. I mean, I get that work, but that work becomes a commodity. And,
Hmm.
and what
Hmm.
their clients, what their prospects are looking for is someone who can coach and advise and actually have an effect on the numbers, not just track the numbers.
Hmm.
And they will pay without, I mean, right now, when you're selling the commodity, hey, I do your books, I do your CPA, I do your taxes. That's hard money for them to hand over. So
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
some people really tend to, oh, you sure it's going to cost that much, or no, we found somebody cheaper, or right. But when you're the one who's actually has an influence on the numbers, how
Hmm.
they're created, how they're handled, and you know better than anyone that can make a massive difference in
Hmm.
that bottom line. Now price is irrelevant, and
Hmm.
now you're not just someone they're paying to do something they have to have done. You're someone they trust, they bring into the inner circle, they coach, they ask, and now price becomes irrelevant. In fact, I challenge, if you don't charge
Hmm.
double and triple what your competition does,
Hmm.
they're not going to take you seriously. And that's not just a profit move. What I'm suggesting there is you're worth way more from what you can do with your mind than what you can do with your hands.
There you go. I always tell my audience, numbers tell stories. And I always ask, whether you're a business owner or in your personal life, what do your numbers tell you? What story does your number tell you? So just like you were saying, Don, for those of you out there that want someone like me to help you. Now, I consider myself the quarterback when it comes to your finances. Because what I do is I look at your finances and then I start saying, hey, let's do this play, let's do that play. And I kind of put it together. Well, now you have someone in Don Pikula who can be your quarterback in getting your message out to the masses. So take advantage of what he has. He is I have to tell you, if it wasn't because he's coaching me right now, I would tell him raise the prices like 10, 20 times for sure, because he's way underpriced. Take advantage of it, my guys, because that, my friend, is Diva's 2 cents.
I love
Anything else you'd like to tell my folks?
Oh, Diva, you nailed it. You look great. I love this setup. You can tell we have some people watching live above us too, who are all making these same moves. But Diva, they're watching you take action.
Thank you.
Really happy that we did this, and this is one of many. So anytime you can be on the ground floor of something that you're building, you're way better off than waiting, watching, and jumping in late. So take that action. Get out there. Get a message that your ideal clients can relate to. And don't worry about people who won't act, people that don't or will get jealous almost of you doing this, right? Mm-hmm. You'll never be criticized by someone doing more than you. Mm-hmm. So in the world of social media, in the world of video, in the world of podcasting, you just take actions and do it, grow like this. You already got a huge audience. I want an audience like yours, but you got a really good match and you help a ton of people. So I can see exactly why they follow you, why they're tuned in to pick up these are more than just tips. I mean, these are life altering things if you just do them.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. So, well, that's it, my guys. As I said, Diva's 2 cents.
There you go, Diva. Hit stop recording.